Minasan konbawa. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to JJJapan's podcast. And today, well, I went to a morning market, an Asaichi in Hikone. So it's been a long time since I've interacted with humans and gone out to a market, so it's interesting, just getting out again. And it was nice. So today, I want to talk about that a little bit. Enjoy. So this is the every 2-week market in Hikone. Well, it's not like a flea market you get in Japan. This is more for local products and local people to sell their own products to the local area. And there's also where you can actually interact with people. I haven't done a while. This lady here was from an NGO and they make sort of homemade products, what is pretty cool. It's just nice getting out and just chatting to people again. I haven't done that in a year or so, right? So it was good just chatting to people, hearing people's stories, how have you been over the coronavirus? How is your products going? What are you selling? What's your story and stuff? It's stuff like that, human relations. It's nice, right? Especially for me, of Japanese, it's quite nice to speak Japanese to people. It's whoa, people speak Japanese still, oh my god. So it was a very good and happy atmosphere, even though everyone's wearing masks and still being careful about corona. Now the levels aren't too high enough that we can actually get out and start, getting back to some sort of life like we had before. And this store here, if you watch on YouTube, is interesting. These are jewelry made from deer horns. Yes, if you do not know, deer horns, they go for a cycle. So deer will get horns and they will fall off at the end of winter and then grow back again throughout the rest of the year. So there's a good supply of deer horns in Japan, especially if you go to Nara, right? So throughout Japan, history, these have been good luck charms, and you can make lovely jewelry out of this. And I'll just put, if you're watching the YouTube video now, some pictures of this lady's Instagram, so you maybe could buy some yourself because they were lovely. But it's always good to meet people who actually make jewelry and art, buying the stuff from the person who made it. Always nice, buying from the source, and then we can hear the story about it. You can hear the person actually put the effort in, and it makes it much nicer item. So buy local. Though I did have one issue today when I was taking footage of this local market. It's the cheap GoPro I have. It didn't take any audio, and there was a nice guy singing along, singing to heart content. It was pretty good, but I can't show them to you because there's no audio. But around this market there was a lot of sort of local produce, local famous food. Though I haven't tried any, it was good to see the local produce and be people are still making their food. And there was this lady right here who made really nice plants and corkscrews and all sorts of little jewelry bits were really nice. And they also had little bits of fish, which was always fun. Makes it a bit more like a festival. We get omatsuri. And being this is Japan, and we're in a temple grounds, we have to go to the main shrine. The shrine we're at is ShiagakennGokoku Shrien. So a Gokoku Jinja, they're the shrines for the fallen warriors from the start of the Meiji period of Japan. That's from around 1868 to the end of World War II. And this is sort of the thinking of the Japanese army for those periods. If they die in battle and their body cannot be brought back home, their soul will actually return home through these shrines. Though there's still international controversy about these shrines because of some of the war crimes the Japanese army did in World War II and before. Even old soldiers, they need a place to rest, right? They still have families, even if they were on, say, the bad side. What is always the losing side of the war. And these style of shrines are normally really nice, especially inside, so it's worth going and having a look. And being this is Hikone, if you like Inelsama, you can pick up some pretty nice omamori here. And being local to this area, I looked into the local festivals, and there's actually a lantern festival. What happens here? In August, for the great price of 3,000 yen, you can get your own lantern. And it'll be hanged up round the shrine. It looks pretty good, and maybe we'll go back there and we'll take part in this festival. Now we go to one of my favourite stores I found at this market, and that was the Onigiri Store. Yes, if you don't know what onigiri is, that's the Japanese little rice ball And there was a store with merchandise and t-shirts, bags, jewelry with little bits of onigiri on it. It was very simple and it was very, kawaii, very cute. Like little baby t-shirts with little onigiri on. It's like, kawaii. And they're all handmade, it's even better. And a really good price of just about 10 yen. It's pretty good, 1,000 yen. It's really good. And the lady who made them was a good humor and was like, yes, I just make everything for onigiri. Everything. And it's great. Well, it's always good finding someone who enjoys making their own products and selling them to other people. But I couldn't really find the online store, so I can't share it to you today. I am very, very sorry. But I am sure she's a regular at this festival, so we should be back there to buy some t-shirts when we have, the money. And last but not least, I saw an interesting one, is someone selling crabs. Yes, not like food crabs, but like crabs they caught in the fishery. Just for 100 yen, you can just buy a little crab. And then what's genius about is they were selling stuff to put the crabs in for pets with it. So it was you gotta buy the crab, but then you also gotta buy something else to put the crab in, right? You can just get a crab. And I was like, oh my god, that is genius. But sadly no one was really buying pet crabs, so Japan people eat crabs, they don't keep them as pets. And being it's the morning, it's a good time to pick up some coffee and buy some, breakfast. And being it's Japan, there was a lot of local products, but we want to be simple, we want to keep on our feet, we went for quick local sandwiches, what are pretty good. And we take a nice little seat by the moat of Hikone Castle. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, a quick little insight into, a Japanese street market. Well, not really a street market, a temple market. Hikone Asaichi. And as always, if you enjoyed this podcast, please let me know. We got a Facebook group, JJJapan, and leave comments anywhere below. And as always, you gotta say this ends up a YouTube video or podcast, subscribe. 最後まで見てくれて本当にありがとうございました。じゃあね。